Rigor mortis, also known as stiffening or death stiffening. It occurs through a decrease in adenosine triphosphate ATP, the primary source of energy for muscle cells, and the resulting binding of actin and myosin in muscle fibers. Without ATP, the muscles can no longer contract or relax, resulting in a temporary stiffening of the carcass. Rigor mortis typically occurs within 1 to 2 hours of slaughter in broilers. The muscle fibers shorten and become more tightly packed during rigor mortis, which affects the texture and tenderness of the meat. Broiler meat that has experienced the proper rigor mortis tends to be more juicier and tender. Rigor development causes a variety of physiological changes in broiler muscles, including changes in elbow distance, pH, and color. Furthermore, it influences broiler meat quality and processing efficiency. As rigor mortis develops after death, the muscles stiffen and contract, causing the elbow jaw. In order to optimize rigor mortis development and improve meat quality, the poultry industry is always analyzing and implementing new approaches to ensure optimal muscle quality. It is essential to monitor and handle these factors throughout the broiler production chain. These are among the objectives of rigor mortis study. The elbow distance between left and right elbow was measured, using the ruler in centimeters for 2 carcasses. One of the carcasses was placed into a 1 degree Celsius ice slush, chilled water, and another one at room temperature.
1 hour later.
The reading for elbow distance and pH value for breast and drumstick were taken at 1 hour and 2 hours.
1 hour later.
The elbow distance, muscle breast pH, muscle drumstick pH and color were observed at room and cold temperature. Each parameter was observed every 1 hour and the results were recorded in the table shown. The figure shows the color of carcasses at room and cold temperature every hour. The color changed from pink to light yellow when kept at room temperature. Meanwhile, the color remained pink when kept at cold temperature.
What is rigor mortis? When an animal dies, blood stops circulating, and there is no new supply of oxygen or nutrients to the muscles. Without oxygen and nutrients, muscles run out of energy, and they contract and become stiff. This stiffening is called rigor mortis. The rigor mortis idea was put up by Bate and Smith, 1948, and it included changes in muscle proteins and their reactions. The loss of adenosine triphosphate, ATP, is extremely significant in the rigor mortis muscular stiffening process. There are 4 phases of rigor mortis of meat, which are delay phase, onset phase, completion and resolution. How to slow down the rigor mortis process? The following temperature factors, such as room temperature and chilling temperature, can influence the development of rigor mortis in chicken. The rate at which chickens acquire rigor mortis is influenced by temperature. Lower temperatures can assist the meat retain its flavor and softness while also slowing down the process. These are the same temperatures that are used for rapid cooling and regulated aging. However, room temperature or greater temperatures may speed up the rigor mortis process and result in tougher meat. Factor influence the rigor mortis process. Temperature, pH, muscle fiber type, and post-mortem handling are some of the variables that affect the development of rigor mortis in broiler muscles. Carcass color of meat is can impact customer preference. Meat keeps its original color and appearance for a longer period of time when stored at a very cold temperature. After an hour at room temperature, the carcass starts to change color and appearance. The hue becomes less vibrant and the surface becomes dry as a result of these alterations. The changes accelerate after 2 hours, and the carcass starts to seem duller, darker, and more yellowed. The carcass doesn't change much in color after an hour of being kept at an icy cold temperature. It still looks shiny, fresh, and lively. The carcass's color does not completely change to a yellowish tint after 2 hours at the same temperature. Overall, it still looks shiny and fresh. The elbow, on the other hand, shrank to 1 and 2 hours when it is kept at room temperature, indicating continued. The reason for this variation is that meat's inherent enzymes increase and elbow joint flexibility decreased as a result. The elbow distance of the chickens began to stabilize with only a minor reduction after being kept at a very cold temperature for 2 hours. This is so that the limb can be immobile or almost immobile due to the fact that rigor mortis might progress to a point where the muscles become totally rigid. The elbow distance seems to be rather constant or just slightly varies, which can be explained by this occurrence. pH of breast and drumstick. At room temperature, the pH of muscle breast are decreased while in drumstick, it decreased from 0 to 1 hour and increased from 1 to 2 hours. It results from the animal's muscular fibers losing their oxygen supply after slaughter or death, which leads to the anaerobic fermentation state. The pH is initially lowered in this instance as a result of the muscle cell's ongoing breakdown of glycogen into lactic acid.